Friday, May 13th, 2021. Wait, no, just kidding. 2022. 2022. Yeah. Let's see, where do I start? The dreams, I guess I'll start there. A lot of scenes. I didn't realize I was dreaming. Even when I woke up, the last scene stood out, so I was like, oh, I did dream. And then trying to backtrack the scenes that I was able to remember, I couldn't find a theme or an emotional connection, so I'm wondering if it's just a junk dream. It didn't make sense. There was a scene with some of, I think they were my cousins, and there was this element of finding a home. And then there was a middle school acquaintance, and she had found a home and was talking about her home. Then there's a scene where I'm in a bus or a train, and there's some arguing going on. Don't know what that was all about. The last scene was what stood out the most because it was Allie. And I'm laughing because the video that posted this morning, well, yesterday was Allie, right? And this morning is having Noah come back. So that was, so in that final scene before I woke up, Allie is talking to her mom and her dad, and Allie is telling them, and I don't feel a connection to Allie anymore. Like there's no emotional tie. And she's calling the wedding off. She's calling the wedding off, saying, I thought I needed to do it. Something like, I thought this was what you wanted, is what she says. I thought this was what you wanted. Insinuate, like, to her mom. And you could tell her parents were upset that she's making, like, literally, it's the day before the wedding. And she's not going to go through with it. And then that's what ends up happening. And then the next day, it's in a warehouse. They're having this meeting in a warehouse. And so I guess all of the people in the warehouse know about the wedding. And so the next morning, people are coming in and they're like, oh, she changed her mind. And some people are like, oh, like this knowing, like, yeah, she needed to change her mind. We're glad that she did. And so there's all this extra, like, there's this leftover, the supplies that were going to be used for the wedding. There's an abundance of supplies. So I woke up and that was the scene that I remember holding on to. There was another scene before that, though. At some point, there were mirrors. It was a museum. But it was a house that got turned into a museum. And there's windows, so you can see inside. And it was just this feeling of like it had stuff from the old way of how we used to do things. So it seemed very future oriented. So there was no connection. I'm not gonna think much of it, but what did happen was that this morning I got a call, and it was from my friend, or what I thought was ex-friend. It was the wife of the person I had an affair with. And I didn't expect to hear from her at all. You know, I had already expected to let go of that relationship. So I didn't expect to hear from her at all. And so she called, and I was like, and I let it go to voicemail because I didn't know if I needed to pick it up. Like, I was still in bed, literally, like, still waking up. And then as I was getting ready, I was thinking, like, do I call her? Do I not? And then I got the sign to keep moving, like go ahead. I was like, okay, I'm gonna call her back. She didn't expect that I was gonna call her back, but I guess she got the sign to check in on me. She's like, I worry. And I was kind of like, I didn't know how to handle that conversation. So I just was light about it. How you doing? What are you working on? Vice versa. So then I just shared, she asked how I was doing, and I shared what was happening with me. Shared that I had met someone, and that I'm gonna see, and that I dreamt of his potential, but it's still potential. She sounded a little like I could hear it in her voice. I can hear it in her voice. So then I asked her again after I was done sharing, so how are you really? Is what I asked. And she's like, well, in regards to what? And I'm like, in regards to whatever you want to share, right? Like, you called. So she shares. And then there was a certain point where I was trying to understand. She was, I guess, just clarifying the relationship. Clarifying because she has chosen to stay where her attention was. And, I didn't expect anything other than that. And I guess she just wanted me to know where her and I stood. I said, okay. And I accepted that. And again, because I already saw myself letting go. And so I clarified with her. I asked questions like, I'm trying to understand what you're trying to tell me. So then I shared my perspective. And what I've realized this journey, and that I had no expectations of us, her and I. She called, I called her back, and that was it. That's the moment. I said, if there's a moment after that, there'll be a moment after that, and I'm going to take it as such. Like, I'm not putting expectations on our relationship, because I didn't know we were going to continue to have one. And so, she said, it's not going to be like it was before. And I said, I don't expect it to. I don't. Doesn't make sense for me to expect that it be the same when clearly all of this has occurred. I sense that she's struggling with how I'm responding. That I'm not as hurt as she is right now. But at the same time, I know that I've processed my emotions through it, right? I've processed what I need to process. And I told her, I'm choosing to view these experiences in a certain manner, and that's helping me move along. And I said, my sister is still struggling with me not being around. My mom is still struggling. Like, I get it, but there's a reason, I told her. There's a reason why everything is unfolding, why I'm having all of these life experiences. I reminded her of the channel, why I'm needing to be transparent and doing this karmic cleanse publicly. There's a reason for it. And I'm being prepared one step at a time. I'm just being shown the way, right? Like, I'm accepting this process and this journey, and for whatever unfolds in front of me, I will take it and do my best to look at it with no expectations, with just being open about, what I learn, if I teach anything, and how I'm going to move forward with that experience and or connection. Right? So at the end, I just thanked her for the phone call, and I wished her well. I have no personal, I don't call people. I don't. I might reach out with a text here and there, like my ex-mother-in-law, happy birthday, but I'm not going to go out of my way not in the same way that I used to. Not in the same way that I used to. I'm being more mindful, right? More intentional, more purposeful with my energy, with my time, and making sure that I'm needing to put the energy where I need to put it, just like everybody else does, right? Whatever, she has her family, she has her marriage that she's working on, and that's where I expect her energy to be. So I hope it didn't come off like in a I don't care kind of way. 'Cause, she's exactly where she needs to be. I'm exactly where I need to be. And I think for a lot of people, it's like my sister, right? It seems like it's cold, but it really isn't. I just see things differently now. And again, it goes back to that same awareness that they're just not in the same place that I am. And, that's my stomach, I'm hungry. And, that's why I got pulled out here. That's why I explained to her, that's why I got pulled out here. Because I'm needing to connect with the people that are in alignment with me. And staying back there, it wasn't in alignment with me anymore. Not to say that it's wrong, it's just, it's not where I'm at anymore. And I'm learning to look at loss in a different way. So it doesn't hurt as much. It doesn't, not as much. Not yet anyways. I mean, I'm sure with each experience it's going to be different, right? This feeling of loss, depending on the type of connection. I haven't experienced all kinds of connections yet. But clearly, right, I'm working on it. I'm being presented different relationships to navigate them, So that happened. I happened to mention to her that my ex knows the truth. Knows who it was. And she mentioned she had wanted to reach out to him. I didn't say anything because I don't. And she asked me if I had talked to him. I said, yeah, I talked to him recently. The whole marriage thing. He actually called me 2 nights ago. Or no, I called him. We agreed that we were going to talk just to clarify what I was going to do with the attorney, what I was going to ask, what we wanted, what I had hoped that we would kind of work together on in terms of the statement of disclosure, and just to kind of have everything somewhat ready to present to them and kind of just, and he was amicable. It was fine, and I asked how he was doing, and he was guarded appropriately so, and family's like, everyone's fine. He didn't ask how I was doing, so I knew. Okay, just keep it short, keep it sweet, talk about what needs to be talked about and let it go. So I shared that with her. And I know she's desperately needing to talk to someone and process. I don't know if he's going to be the right person for what she's needing, but I wish her luck on that if she chooses to reach out to him. So that happened. Yeah. It's Friday. It's a light day today. I'm grateful because I need to catch up on my notes. I should be done today. I think it'll be a good day to officially kind of catch up, use tomorrow to prepare for my presentation on Sunday, and then work on my the last 2 finals, and then I'm done. Oh, snap. I need to email the school and call the school about something, so thumbs up. Alright, bye. Hi, my name is Yubi, and in case you haven't figured it out, this footage is capturing my experience as I learn to navigate my personal spiritual awakening. I am learning that this experience is unique to each one of us, in whatever way we believe we are embracing living our truth. This just happens to be my truth. journey. And despite me having a graduate degree and a license in clinical social work, this by no means is intended to replace any type of mental health advice. This is just me on a personal level, documenting my experience, shedding light on the truth that I am learning and discovering for myself, and really inviting you along for the ride. If by some magical chance you find this content to be helpful in any way, shape, or form, please click the like button, share the message, subscribe to my YouTube channel. I have an Instagram account, a personal one, and one specifically for this channel that you're more than welcome to check out. I'm an open book. I have also created t-shirt designs. I'm wearing my favorite one right now, which is the North Node design, but I have that and other things that you can look at inspired by this process and journey, and I have the link in the description box as well as in the about section of my YouTube channel. So you're more than welcome to check those items out. Any type of support is great. Again, if you find this content really helpful or meaningful, sometimes when we take that step and be vulnerable, with showing what's inside our hearts and what's really our truth, we realize that we're much more connected than what we thought we were. And so I hope that as I'm living this experience, and that you find some type of truth for yourself, or find some type of ability to heal in some way just by relating, just by knowing that you're not alone. That really has been my goal with this process, not just being able to connect with others, but really for my own healing. It's definitely been a therapeutic experience and a very creative one for myself. So I thank you, and I wish you all the best, and we'll see what else comes next for me.